hello to all our viewers. I hope everyone's having a good week so far. Welcome to this week's episode of PALAKwento, College Life in LA. No, so of course, tonight our guests are currently college students. They're from UP class, which is also Pala's official student partner for the recent NatCon 2021. So let's all welcome Lay and Raya. Yay! Lay and Raya, hello!
Hello.
Hi! It's very nice to meet you guys. Oh my
Hello
gosh. So,
po.
I myself am actually from UP class also, no? So I used to be in UP class when I was in college, and I'm really glad to meet you guys kasi kayo na lang yung next batch na na-meet ko after I left. Yan. So, how are you guys doing naman? How's everything so far? Like, how's life in general?
I'll go first.
Sige.
Medyo,
Sige, go.
medyo kinakabahan ako ngayon kasi it's my first time doing this kind of stuff. I've never been invited to a talk before. And I believe Raia is a member of a radio org. So, yeah, I leave you guys to, I leave myself to go here.
No, it's a very casual thing naman. I mean, yes, it is a radio/talk show, but the setting is very it's very casual, and I'm sure even like you, Raya, you're very familiar with the platform, right? And I'm sure na you also have settings where it's very casual as well. Am I right? Yeah.
And for me naman, what I'm feeling right now, I'm actually really excited po. Kasi parang ngayon lang ulit kami magkakakwentuhan nila eh. Like,
Oh.
pandemic, lagi kami nagkakwentuhan talaga. Like, lagi kami nagkakwento about life, about arty, ganyan. Pero nung pandemic, medyo naudlot siya ng konti. So I'm really
Right.
excited na makakwentuhan ko ulit sila tonight.
Right. Yes, you guys are definitely
Likewise.
gonna get to catch up tonight, no? Kasi we're gonna be talking about basically what life has been like for you guys ngayon in college, right? And how it is just not in school lang naman, but also, you know, like your personal stuff while you're going through school, no? So like really the highs and lows of college life. Right. So I'm gonna start off with a question that I'm sure you guys get asked often. Kasi like me, I remember lahat ata kami when we were in college, we'd always get asked this question sa halos lahat ng classes yata when we start the sem, right? So why LA? Why did you get into LA? Or how did you get into LA? So maybe Raya, you can start this time.
Oh, actually, medyo mahaba-habang kwento po yan. I think the greatest context would be that I'm actually a shifty po. So I shifted to landscape architecture. So medyo mas mabigat yung tanong, bakit nag-shift pa ako? Sa lahat pa ng course na pwede sa LA pa mismo. Medyo mahaba yung kwento po eh. I came from the College of Arts and Letters, so I was in English Studies. And then I shifted out, but like not because I didn't like my course. I love the course actually until now. Like if I had the chance to take it, I'd still take it. Pero parang throughout my life po kasi ang kinarve sa aking path was towards architecture or a design course, something like that. Sa UPCAT kasi yung mga courses na nilagay ko, puro humanities, puro liberal arts, ganyan. Because I didn't plan on going to UP. Pero pinag-UP ako ng family ko, so medyo gulat ako doon. And English studies was my first choice then. And then I guess after a year, I realized na maybe I'm still up for I'm really up for the path of a design course. So I applied for shifting out, and then as cliche as it may sound, para bang LA found me, I guess. Kumbaga, kung hindi ako nakapag English studies muna in my first year in college, hindi ko rin ma-discover yung LA. I mean, diba, truth be told, LA is not a very not a very famous course compared to say yung architecture nga mismo, diba? So I only found out about LA in UP, and I'm glad that I did, diba? So yeah.
I do have a quick follow-up question. How did you find out about it? Like, did you get a GE, or like how did you find out about the course?
Actually, yeah, natanong na rin sa akin yan. No, not really. Just really shifting. So like, diba, pag mag-shift ka, you go to the college office and then you check the available courses that you can shift to. Tapos yung nakita ko landscape architecture, parang, may ganito pala.
What's
so
this?
Yun, diba? It's very interesting. Interesting pa rin naman siya hanggang ngayon. So,
that's great to hear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sorry, you were saying. Sorry, you were saying. Go ahead.
Wala naman. Like, I guess, lang, kumbaga blessing in disguise din talaga siya. So like, usually, when you say you're shifting out or something, parang people don't really see it as a very, very positive note or something like
Right.
that. But for me, it was a blessing in disguise. Parang, it was setting me up to go to LA. And I don't think I can imagine myself actually in say, architecture, ganyan, or a different course na now. Parang LA na talaga yung para sa akin. Kinlaim
Wow.
na talaga. Third year pa
I'm
lang.
happy for you naman. No, but I mean, you're 1 year. There's 1 year left for you, right? And I mean, I'm happy that you're happy where you're at right now, diba? Kasi I mean, it's not an easy course, and it's very easy to think na you don't like what you're doing already when you're going
Mhm.
through a struggle, right? So I'm happy to know na happy ka naman in LA.
Happy na.
How about How about you, Lay? How did you decide na you wanted to go to take LA?
Same with Raya's experience. I guess LA chose me na rin. Yeah. And as for what got me into studying LA, if I'm being really brutally honest, I never knew what landscape architecture was until I got my UPCAT results. I think I speak
Uh-huh.
for a handful of my batchmates on this one. But I guess for certain, I've always wanted to take up on a career path on design ever since I was young.
Mhm.
Well, coming from an arts oriented family, and I also had an extensive background in science because my mom's um, chemistry major herself, and I came from a science high school. And yeah, it was not until in 2015 where I got into the design side of Facebook, and then I saw landscape architects Paulo Alcazaran's post on
Ah,
design
okay.
interventions for the city. And at that point, I was sure that I wanted to do what he was doing back then, but I did not realize that the profession had a name. Yeah, so
Right.
fast forward to the UPCAT applications. Yeah, I filled out the form and added LA as my second choice, of course. The first being architecture, and then when I got the results, my friends were actually the ones who told me about it, that I got into LA. And as any normal kid would feel about it, I was really happy about it. I was like, "Yay! I got into LA. What is LA?" Yeah.
Right.
So fair enough. Yeah. 5 semesters and an internship later, I finally understood what our field of study is, and yeah, I've never been more happy na I got to study what I've always wanted to do, and I'm really happy na I'm one of the few who actually got into this course. Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God, I'm so happy for you guys. I mean, I'm very no, like I'm seriously, genuinely very happy that you guys are enjoying, LA and where you're at right now, because I could only imagine how difficult it is, especially now that during the pandemic
Right.
you've had to do everything at home. And I mean, for me at least, during my time, what really helped me, get through like the terrible lows of college life was really getting to be with my friends, like physically, yung mga typical na okay, after class kain tayo sa labas or inuman ganyan, right? And I can't imagine how it is for you guys right now, diba? Like how you're coping. But I'm genuinely happy that you're thriving in LA. Yeah, so I'm just happy for you guys. So now that I know a bit more about how you got into LA and why you're happy in the course, I also want to know more about you guys personally. So like si Raya, si Lay, sino sila sa bahay or sino sila outside of school?
OMG.
So like yeah, no, I mean like okay, Raya, now I know that you're in a broadcasting org, right? So that's
Yeah.
one thing. So like maybe you can start by telling us more about that.
Parang PBB. Ako po si Raya, ang
Gusto ko
chikadorang
yan.
chinis ng Maynila. Ganun.
Gusto ko yan. Ay, that pala pina-introduce ko kayo ng gano'n. Ulitin natin. Charot.
Ulitin.
No, pero yeah, sige. Like, I wanna know you guys, and I'm sure the viewers also wanna get to know you guys more also, who you are outside of school. Kasi hindi lang naman kayo students 24/7, diba?
Exactly. I love
Yeah.
that. Actually, very ironic kasi sabi ko kanina nga na parang feel ko LA is for me or I'm for LA. Pero hindi siya masyadong nagba-manifest sa mga ginagawa ko or me as a
Same.
student. Because Diba, parang, I don't know, a lot of my batchmates or a lot of my friends know na I'm not really, BLA, I'm more BS org or, always out there, la cochera, ganyan. And then, kumbaga my orgs, the OP class is my only Archie org and I only applied like last semester. Kumbaga, for most of my life talaga, iba-iba yung orgs ko sa iba-ibang colleges. Kumbaga, naiikot ko yung
Mhm.
campus dati, ganong type. So yeah, I'm part of a radio org. So shout out lahat ng orgs. I'm from UP Radio Circle, so that's an org in Mascom, and then I have an org, a Spanish club, Círculo Hispanico in
Oh.
Cal, and then I'm also part of ISEC in UP Diliman, so that's a BA org naman. So medyo iba-iba. Iniikot yung buong
Nag-campus
campus.
tour ka.
Oo nga.
Nag-campus tour. So, paano yung Spanish club? Like, what do you guys usually do? Like, culture ba? Or is more of language? Or like, everything?
Kasi nung natatawa ako sa mga chat dito, sorry. When I was in Cal kasi, in College of Arts and Letters, I took Spanish. I took 6 units of Spanish noon. So parang isip ko, sige, mag-org na rin ako doon. Pero, paano ba? When you say Spanish, yung Spanish org namin, language, culture, ganyan. So it's a mix of a lot of things. Ayan.
That's cool. Thank you. How about you, Lay? Sino si Lay sa bahay? Sino si Lay sa mga kaibigan niya? Oh.
I guess my friends generally know me as very, very awkward. Like, I'm legit antisocial, as opposed to Raia. But I do have a lot of orgs then. Yeah, I'm also a member, other than UClass, I'm also a member of UPR Kyra, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Ooh.
I'm also one of their pub heads before, and I'm currently the publicity and creatives committee head of UClass for this semester naman. Yeah, and then on the side naman, I've been working as a part-time intern for Plontour, and I've been with them for about 4 months now. Yeah. And actually kanina when I was at work, I promised them that I would give them a shout out. So
So
hi
here's
everyone at Plontour.
yeah. Here's your opportunity.
Right. And yeah, I guess on the plus side of things, I never really got to practice nga lang sana with the drawings ganon. I'm more on the graphic design side of things, and I also like music, right? And I also on my free time then I also love to study language ganon. If Raya's into Spanish naman, ako naman I took a French class in UP. And even before I had the background in French, but I'm not good at it. And then on the side,
Magpapasample pa naman sana ako, guys.
oh, I'm not good at it na.
Next time na po.
Yeah, next time na lang. One of the language naman na I'm studying right now is Bahasa Indonesia, and I happened to land on this opportunity in a university in Indonesia, which allows me to study the culture and besides the language. Then it's kind of fun actually.
I'm so confused as to how you guys have this much time. or baka
I have
wala
the same
lang.
question as well.
Yeah, or baka like when I was a student, I wasn't the best lang talaga. But yeah, I'm so glad to hear na parang, I mean, when I was in college, I was also super BS org, right? But I wasn't exactly the best student. So guys, stay in school. But no, it's really nice to hear, that you guys get to like do all these things, like the things that you're interested in, no matter like if it's not related to what you're studying in LA, diba? I mean, it's that's very interesting to hear. And of what's this? What Lay had to say earlier about about not practicing so much on drawing, but more on graphic design. That's fine because when you get outside, when you graduate, get outside of LA, it's not lang naman that you do design, like as in design lang. There are so many other fields that you can get into as well. And maybe you realize that graphic design really is your passion. When you go into LA, even in the profession itself, there will be a need for that still. So, like all these skills that you guys are honing right now, no, through like the different interests that you're learning, I'm sure that you'll be able to use all those naman when you get out in the real world. It sucks out here. Just kidding. Stay in school. Just no. But okay, so now I have more of like insight on how you guys are doing in school and just life in general. I want to know, kasi both of you didn't exactly know what you were getting into when you went into LA, diba? Kasi yun nga, we're hindi naman familiar to everybody yung LA. So I want to know if it met any expectations you may have had, or if you didn't have any expectations getting into the course, how did it change what you thought about what LA is, or how much changed during your three years, right? Correct, 3 years
Right.
in college. Yon. So like, how much did it change through your journey in landscape architecture? Wow, journey. Yeah. Sige. So let's start off with Lay naman.
Mm.
So
Yeah, pondering on the title of this night's talk, no, college life highs and lows. Yeah, I have
yeah.
to admit, na there were a lot of low points throughout my college life. Yeah, one being related to my mental health, and some other things related to my academics in general. And as compared to my visions of UP that I had before entering UP, I would say that my college life and the course that I took thus far is super different from what I had in mind. Because, based from my experience, parang ang dami kong experience na parang na-disillusion ako, and then yung mga original worldview ko parang nade-debunk sila. And but in a good way naman, in a value-adding way naman. And I learned na it takes a lot of humility to, like, recognize na you don't know a lot of things out there, and that being said, there's a lot more waiting to be known out there. You just have to be open to new experiences while you're at it.
Yes, that's very
Mhm.
correct. I cannot stress enough how correct that is. I'm sure it goes for everyone naman, no? Like, when we were, young and foolish, we had different sets of worldviews. And I
Right.
think getting into UP and then getting into such a, how do you say it? Such a different course, such a an underground course. No, it really opens you up to a lot of new things, and I think. Wala lang. I think that's really cool. Wow. Cool tayo dito, guys. Charot. No, but yeah, sorry. Before we move on to Raya, no, I'm seeing a lot of comments, no, and I'm guessing galing to sa mga upkla. So, hi, guys. I wanna meet you all. No, but yeah, please, if you guys have any questions for your Ate Lay and Ate Raya, send them in, and then we're gonna ask them these questions later on. Matapos natin silang i-grill. Charot. So, sige. So yeah, please do send in your questions. Okay, let's move on. Raya, how did you have any expectations ba getting into LA, or none at all?
Thesis defense pala po ito, no? Joke, hindi naman.
Practice to.
Actually, zero. Like, now that you mentioned it, naalala ko nga na wala rin akong alam masyado sa course besides sa kung ano lang nakita ko sa Google. Like, di ko pa nga kilala sina Mr. Alcazaran or whoever. I don't see them at all on Facebook or anything. Like, kung ano lang nakita ko dun sa parang whatever college website na yon when I was applying for LA. Yun lang yung alam ko sa LA. To the point na pati nung nagre-reg na ako, like the first day of registration ng classes, kasi yung mag-enroll for classes. Saka ko lang natanong kung ano ba yung LA dun sa isang upperclassman na batchmate ko dapat since shifting ako noon. So parang tinanong ko sa kanya, shoutout na natin si Giselle. Sa kanya ko tinanong, parang ano ba talaga tong LA? Parang ano yung ganap, ano yung mangyayari, ganyan. Kumbaga, I was already getting into the course, tapos hindi ko pa rin talaga alam yung course itself. So very, very fresh talaga when I got in. But I guess parang sabi nga nila, there's so much to learn. I think starting from a standpoint na ganun, it's really, I guess, embedded in me like a culture or like a hunger for learning, or, parang laging dapat akong zero lang and then here to absorb, always expecting na meron akong something yun na matututunan, and true enough, lagi something yun na matututunan, to the point na minsan parang hindi ko na rin alam kung meron ba talaga akong parang sometimes it makes you feel nga rin na there's so much to learn. Like, am I actually like improving? Am I actually progressing? Parang sometimes there are questions like that come into mind. But yung if you stay humble, like what Lay said, it makes you parang grow without you actually knowing. So siguro hindi namin makikita kami yung nag-grow, pero baka our peers could testify naman to that. Hopefully, no? 1 year left na lang eh. So sana.
Or sometimes kasi,
Sana
di ba,
naman.
like, the things na we learn, hindi siya immediately applicable to whatever we're doing in our life. Eh. So maybe years ahead, saka mo ma-realize na, oh, I learned this when I was second year in college, LA. Ganon, diba? Hindi, it may not manifest to you immediately, like right now, diba? But maybe somewhere along the road, ma-realize mo, nagamit ko yung natutunan ko sa LA. Because I've had many moments like that now that, I'm years out of college. Meron talagang times when I realized, oh, if I hadn't gone to LA, I probably wouldn't know this. I wouldn't know how to do this, that kind of stuff. So, yon. Next naman, I want to know if there's anything, and for this one, it doesn't necessarily have to be during your time in LA. Kasi you, Raia, you shifted eh. So, baka this happened for you before LA. But I want to know if there's any remarkable moment for you in college. So, kayo bahala. Like, maybe it happened during college, pero personal siya, that's fine. If it happened in school or it happened sa org, anything remarkable that, really left an impact sa'yo or like really left a mark for you na feeling mo dadalhin mo when you're 60, ganon. Like, anything at all. So, yon. Nakikichismis lang ako dito. Gusto ko lang kayo
Okay, sige.
chismis.
I'll go first, if ever.
Go. Yeah, go.
So, yeah, this isn't related to my academic life per se, but I remember this one conversation I had with my grandmother, si Mama Berko, when I visited her months back. You see, my grandmother is like the OG plant tita. I remember her house, lush with a lush garden with fruit bearing trees and stuff, and she just loved cultivating and caring for plants in general. But quite recently, their house and garden got demolished to give way for a skyway project. Yeah. So in the rare occasions that I would visit her, we would always talk about the old house, the plants in her garden, and my field of study. And then one afternoon, when I was sitting beside her, watching her afternoon soap operas with her, and in the soap opera that we were watching, she pointed the tea plant that was on the TV, and then she was very interested in what it looked, and she was very fascinated by it. And then, ayun, knowing what that was, yun, I told her its scientific name and then some fast facts about it. Although I'm not really confident with my softscape skills though, but yeah, she just looked at me in utter shock, like, how did you know that? And that went on until the end of the show with each plant that she found interesting.
That's so cute.
and then so, yeah, and so this plant identifying thing that we had just turned into a full-blown conversation about landscape architecture. And then I remember her showing me these little doodles of the plants that she used to have in her garden and comparing that to the ones that I did for class. And her telling me about that, how she would steal plant cuttings that she like in this little park trip that she had in America, because she's that plant tita. And she also said na she would have taken up landscape architecture then had she known about it when she was younger. Ayun. But I guess the most memorable thing that I had from this conversation was something that she had learned with gardening and her memories that she had within the places that she's been through. She said to me na, alam mo, Lay, lagi kong pinagdadasal sa Panginoon na okay lang ang kuhanin niya yung ganda ko, ang pera ko, basta wag lang ang isip ko. And I guess from a design student's perspective, even though that was just a simple statement coming from a place of nostalgia from my mama, Bernie, that actually made me think about how the places that we design are just supplements to the whole human experience. I guess ultimately our designs aren't the main character, but simply a platform in which these experiences and relationships are fostered. Kind of like how theater transforms into a whole different world through the actors and the people behind the production. And at the end of the day, we just shouldn't limit what we do in terms of forms and aesthetics alone, but we also understand what is our relationship with space and how these places contribute to our humanness and our humanity. It's kind of like that one Beatles song called "In My Life," if you think about it. So I guess that's for me.
Yung English, charot. No. Wait lang. No. That's really nice. That's speechless. No. I was listening intently, diba? I really like how that simple conversation brought out like a very insightful thought, or like a very insightful and valuable diba, idea. Kasi that's very true. Like
Right.
the spaces that we design, they're not just, obviously function is there. I mean, we design and make sure that these designs are functional, yes, but more than that, it's true that these spaces, especially now in this day and age, no, where we take photos, ganyan,
Yeah.
it really it helps capture moments for people, utilizing these spaces, diba? So I think it's very nice, no, and it's very cute of your lola to like
Mm-mm.
tell you na parang I would have taken that if I had known about it. And that's actually why we're doing these talks, trying to spread out the word out there, diba? Na para so more people get to know more about LA, and baka ito rin pala yung gusto nila, they just don't know it yet, diba? Yon. So, wait lang, Raya, mag-Tagalog ka. Charot. I've had enough. Charot. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, Raya, how about you? Na-pressure ka ba? Buti na lang ako yung nagtatanong.
Slight. Joke. Ano naman po?
Grabe.
Ano ba? I mentioned na yun ngang most of my life before Arky was not very Arky. So, kumbaga, hindi ko na actually naisipan mag-Arky org until this pandemic lang. Kasi nga, I don't know, I felt like I already had a life before Arky, and I wanted to keep that. So I'm still friends with my Cal friends, ganyan. And then most of my life now would be in orgs in other colleges. So when I entered in Arky, actually, I wanted to be low-key. So, hindi ko balak makipag-friends actually sa mga tao. Ganon type. As in yung,
no?
yun nga lang, di ba? Pero I mean, parang first week ata noon, lagi lang ako katabi nung saksakan kasi nag-charge ako ng phone. Ako yung ganong classmate na nakaganon lang, tapos nasa phone lang, hindi kinakausap yung mga tao. Kasi nga, di ba, I mean, parang medyo old na yun ako. I mean, parang 1 year older ako than the rest of my batchmates.
You're that shifty. Yeah.
Okay, I was that shifty. Tapos, syempre, pag freshies, di ba, sobrang vivo, yung energy. Kaya, tapos parang I'm tired na. Hindi ko na kaya yung ganyan. Ganon, di ba? So, I guess pinaka-memorable moment sa akin was during that week kasi, yung mga nakatabi ako, yung mga seatmates ko noon, tapos niyaya nila akong lumabas after class or kumain. Parang ganon. Something like that. So yun, I think they're watching now. If they're watching, hello. So they're actually my barkada na. Ever since first year, they're my barkada. Ever since first year until now. And paano ba? Parang as a shifty who wasn't looking for a home in Arky, I found a home in them, ganyan. And I don't think I would have survived Arky.
That's very
Kung
true.
wala sila.
True enough.
That's very true. Di ba nga sabi ko sa inyo, the only reason I survived college was because I got to be with my friends talaga. I mean, it was such a struggle. Wow, puro lows lang. Wow, charot. No, but yun, kasi no, diba? I mean, me too, the friends that I made during my freshman year, actually, yung barkada ko nung college, barkada ko pa rin sila hanggang ngayon. And I'm sure that will happen for you guys as well, diba? But, yung barkada namin sa batch, grabe, like, they were, my friends, yung barkada ko talaga, they were all actually shifties and transferees. So, ako lang yung freshman sa group namin na yun. But, in that aspect, they really helped me grow also. Kasi me, like, probinsyana ako noon. Like, I didn't know anything. Hindi ako marunong mag-commute. Hindi ako marunong kumain ng mga kung ano-anong bagay. And through them, I really learned. So, parang hindi lang ako natuto sa LA. Like, kasi obviously, in that aspect, sabay-sabay lang kami. Pero, natuto din talaga ako, like, with other aspects in life, diba? And yun nga, like, I keep mentioning, hindi lang naman kasi always na parang dahil student lang yung life mo, diba? You also have to do, like, other things out there. You also have to live your life. Yon.
Right.
And,
Exactly.
diba? Tapos ang galing ko mag-transition kasi yung next question ko is, so I mentioned, like, living life, diba? I want to know if you guys have any, like, things that you want to do before you graduate, like some sort of bucket list that you want to fulfill before you graduate. And if any, meron pa ba kayong hindi nagagawa sa mga things na yon? Kasi considering na isang taon na lang, guys, you have 1 year left to fulfill this said bucket list. So, meron ba?
I mean, sorry, I think I'm back. you could say that we're in our third year now, but like, have you really spent 3 years as a UP student or 3 years as an LA student at UP? Yung parang medyo rubbed off din yung
Right.
yung
Yeah.
2 years na
2
yon.
years.
So I guess a lot of things on the bucket list. Mostly for my batchmates, no? Kasi, kuyari, ako nga, meron akong 1 year na nasulit ko
Right,
yung buhay ko
right.
sa UP, face-to-face. Diba? So, kumbaga marami na rin akong nagawang UP-wise, like, like Mahag
UP
Zorro,
Fair.
mga ganon. UP Fair every day until 7 a.m. Tapos pasok na
Yeah,
class.
yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
check. Ano ba? I guess also ma-recruit ng mga religious orgs. Mga
Oh
God
my
the Mother
gosh!
sa UP, mga
The
ganon.
mother? OMG! Ba't ka kasi tumatambay sa oval? Kaya ka na-recruit ni God the Mother.
Medyo kompleto in terms of UP experience. So for me, mostly yung LA experience yung gusto ko pang ma-fulfill. So check na yung UP class. So nag-open na yung circle ko there. Another siguro, siguro site visit. Alam niyo ba, hindi pa kami ever nagsa-site
Oh my
visit?
gosh, guys, yun yung masaya kasi after nun, tatakas na kayo. Charot. Hindi na kayo babalik. Charot. Sa mga person na nanood, hello po. No, but that's very sad. Ang saya mag-site visit kahit minsan di nyo alam kung ano talagang ginagawa nyo doon. Lalo na pag mga staking, ganyan. Bakit tayo? Ano ba itong ginagawa natin dito? Ganyan. Pero oh my gosh, you guys, wait lang, third year ba is may maintenance classes na kayo? Landscape maintenance.
Maybe
Baka next
second
sem pa.
sem pa.
Yeah, probably second sem pa pala yun. No, but that's very sad kasi like, during our time, dahil maintenance siya, right? Obviously, it has to be very hands-on. We would actually, what's this? We would do work sa park. Like, sa batch namin, we did it sa Rizal Park, ganyan. So, I mean, it's very sad na you guys never got to do that. So, parang paano yun? Paano yung classes nyo, like, online lahat? Wala kayo at all physical anything? Oh my gosh, you guys.
Sad. Yeah.
Stupid COVID.
Tama.
Oh my
Very
gosh.
sad.
But, okay lang yan. Tagalan mo na lang. Mag-extend ka na lang. Balita ko hanggang
Natagalig
2020.
naman na, no?
Oo, no, hanggang 2024 pa daw eh. So, extend mo na, 2025.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Hala, baka isipin ng mga prof nyo, BI ako. No, sir, nagbago na po ako. Anyway, yon, sige. So, Raia, anything else? Or yun na yung answer mo?
Site visit pala
LA
sa
stuff.
akin.
Site
Yeah.
visit. So, pag gusto ko yung sobrang specific na gusto mo mag-site visit, tara, saan ka nakatira? Sunduin kita,
Shout out
mag-site
po
visit
sa,
tayo.
site visit.
Tara. Sunduin nga kita, site visit tayo. Ako na mag-offer. Anyway, sige, Lay, how about you? Si Lay, you came into LA, freshie talaga, di ba?
Yeah. Fresh
So,
talaga.
so like literal, quarantine baby ka talaga in LA.
Unfortunately.
Oh my gosh, I love you. Anyway, so you, what about you? May any bucket list items that you need to tick off or?
Ayun, actually, same din kay Raia. I wish we could have had a site visit sana. Tapos, ayun, thinking about it, no, parang, I realized na parang sobrang sheltered ko rin pala as a UP student, no, with strict parents. I've never been to an inuman my whole life. And then, what else? I've never seen the oblation run. I've been to a UP fair before, but that was in high school. So, I've never been to a UP fair when I was in college na. And then, what else? Ayun talaga, medyo masama loob ko sa site visit talaga. Well, di man masama, parang mabigat lang sa loob. Parang we could have enjoyed the site visit, and then pagbalik na, no, parang it's weird na I got out of UP freshie, tapos babalik kami mga smack dab in the middle of the third year na, and then gagraduate na kami.
Yeah.
Sad if you think about it.
I'm actually curious if you guys ever got to meet na talaga, like in person. Like,
We met na.
the batch.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
first
Ah,
step
okay.
kami together.
Okay. Kasi I was thinking parang ang awkward if like, kunyari, you never got to meet in person, diba? So parang, meron na kayong certain online relationship but then like when you get into physical, like face-to-face classes na parang how is the dynamic kayo? Anyway. I'm just
weird.
I'm just blabbing about. Pero oh my gosh, I'm so sad. I feel for you guys so much. Hindi ko ma-imagine yung hindi nakapunta ng inuman. Just kidding. Hindi yung hindi
Hindi ko naman ako
joke lang.
papayagan.
Joke lang. Hindi yung kasi parang no kami, 'di ba? Parang sobrang lahat parang UP Fair kasi after school din naman so makakapunta ka talaga.
Mm-mm.
Or you know, like yung mga org events kasi like alam niyo naman class ang hilig magpauso ng mga events.
Right.
'Di ba? Pero I mean I can't imagine. Grabe. I mean, sorry guys. So we had our time.
Baka gusto niyo pa matry. Joke.
Ako. Invite nyo naman kami. Ano ba yan? Gusto ko talaga kayo ma-meet. Nagtsikahan na lang dito, no? Anyway. Grabe. Hindi, ngayon ko lang na-realize. Tsaka parang, siguro we took it for granted dati, no? Yung simpleng pag-site visit. Nag-iinarte pa nga kami before, eh. Parang yung init naman mag-site visit today, ganyan. Kasi parang puro site visit, mainit, ganyan. But
Now
like
it's just
now,
Google Earth.
but yun nga,
Yeah.
now that you guys are airing these ngayon ko lang na-realize na parang, like, okay, yung pinag-iinarte namin dati, something pala na parang we should have, enjoyed. I mean, we did enjoy it naman. Pero, it's something pala that you guys or some people in the future won't get to experience during their time in college. Ganon. So, parang, sobrang insightful nito for me. This is such a great conversation. Anyway, diba? Hindi ba kayo na, sure, ako lang pala yung from the future. So, okay. Ako lang yung nakakita. Anyway, alright. So, speaking of school, and all that, I wanna know kung meron kayo, okay, so third year na kayo, marami na kayong na-take na subjects, right? Are there any favorites for you guys? And I wanna know why. Like, is it because of the subject itself? Is it because of the prof? Ganyan. Kasi let's be real, meron tayong mga classes na naging paborito lang natin kasi super okay nung prof. Diba? So, ano yung number one subject nyo na like, yung level of if you could take it again, you would? And why?
This is a hard one kasi I don't want to hurt my profs' feelings if they're watching. Hello. Ayun. I love them all and their expertise din pala, equally. But I guess sa mga art subjects, urban design has to take the cake for me. And you're not gonna believe this, but for the LA subjects, I actually like professional practice. Kasi, medyo related siya sa, in real life, urban design and then professional practice. Like, and then there's my internship as well. So like, I get to compare and contrast na rin like ano yung tinuturo sa class versus as to what's happening sa internship. And it's cool kasi parang I get to be immersed in the professional practice per se, ganun. And then I'm also generally interested din sa GIS tsaka sa hardscape construction, theory, and ecology kasi ewan ko, ang galing lang ng pagkaka-explain ng subjects and I like doing details and research as well.
You lost me at landscape construction.
I love details.
I'm asking favorites,
May-
pero, oh my gosh. Na-stress. No, grabe. Ang sipag mo, girl. Yun lang yung masasabi ko.
Needs
Kasi-
citation.
Kasi like, I love my profs, pero construction details?
Well, the only reason why I don't like, even din naman hindi sa like, parang I try to steer away from softscape kasi medyo ako sa plants. Like, every time I take care of a plant, lagi silang namamatay. Kaya, okay,
no.
sige, sa hardscape na lang ako.
Ay, nako. Ako, BS org. Charan. Anyway, moving on. Let's not make it about me. Raia, ikaw, what's your favorite subject and why?
As a BS org, parang napaisip nga ako sa mga sinabi ni
O,
Tim.
diba?
May wala tayong ganun. Joke, hindi naman.
Oh my gosh, construction daw.
Ano ba? I guess, for me, I really like design classes. So medyo walang choice na if I had to take it again, I will. I have to. Every semester, I have to take design
Until you
class.
graduate.
No choice. I will have to take it again and again hanggang magsawa ako. It's parang sabi nga nila, it's an accumulation of everything that you've learned, diba? In just one subject. So medyo sobrang major talaga siyang subject. And yun nga, parang doon ma-apply lahat ng natutunan mo. And maganda rin actually insight for me would be yung being a shifty nga and having different interests. It's design classes have paved the way for me to parang reconcile all those interests. Yung pwede ko silang i-apply, ganun ganyan.
Right.
And paano ba? Parang mas na-enjoy ko tuloy yung course program natin kasi you really see how multidisciplinary yung LA, diba?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, and like especially with the design, the spaces you design, no, like I mean, it could be used for different things, diba? So yeah, I guess in that aspect, mag-isip na kayo ng panthesis, guys. Yun yung naging conclusion ko sa sinabi nyo. Anyway, pero yeah, kasi yun nga, like when you get to your thesis years, you'll realize na parang ang hirap pala pumili ng topic because there'll be so much that you could design a space for, right? And yun nga, parang magagamit mo yung accumulated knowledge mo through the years of studying LA to design these spaces, but there's so much to design out there, but at the same time, ang hirap. Yeah, yun yung conclusion ko. But yeah, so knowing, knowing that na parang, okay, these are the things that you enjoy, ganyan, in and outside of LA, if you had not taken LA, say, Raia, you didn't shift out, or you, Lay, you didn't see LA, for example, sa list ng courses, no, and you didn't put it as your second choice, what do you see yourself doing, or where would you be now, or what would you be studying kaya if you were not in LA?
I'd go first kasi medyo obvious yung answer ng akin. Kasi
Hindi, malay mo nag-shift ka pa rin, di ba?
Grabe, yun nakalagay yung aking personality, mag-shift out. As a shift. I would have stayed in English studies. Yun nagiging path ko. And then maybe yung more language studies. Kasi may majoring din yun eh. So major in literature, major in language. I would major in language studies, kanyan. And then probably continue Spanish or another language, foreign language for that. Kanyan. Not too difficult to imagine then for me.
Kasi you already came from there, no?
Yeah.
Okay. How about you, Lay? Papahirapan natin si Lay tonight. Kasi pinahirapan mo kami dun sa nosebleed mo kanina.
Grabe. Ayun, medyo madugo yung naisip kong field though. Pero if not LA, I would have taken up a course na related sa material science or marketing. Yeah.
Magkahiwalay na, pero
sobrang layo, but yeah, pero wow. No, but it shows, diba, na parang wow, okay, so sobrang broad ng interests and I don't know, like skill set ni Lay. Kasi from material science to marketing, diba? Feeling ko, Raia, ikaw may potential ka din mag-broadcom.
Broadcom.
Feeling ko, like, sa broadcasting, may potential. Ikaw na yung susunod na mag-host, ha? Ayoko na kasi. Yun pala yun. Pakinote pala.
Next question po.
Bakit ayaw mo? Ito na yung pagpasa ko ng baton. Charot. Anyway, so actually, this would be my last question for the night now for you guys. So, to our viewers, if you guys have any questions for Lay and Raia, let us know para we can ask them. Ask anything. Lalo na sa mga may alam ng secrets nila. Charot. Sa mga batchmates nila dyan, o class, ganyan. Go ahead and ask your questions while we still have the time. So anyway, for my last question in this whole agenda, no, after graduating LA, so okay, you're down to your last 2 years, and I'm sure somehow you already see a path naman. Like it's not set in stone, but you already see all the paths that you can take, diba? So I want to know if you've already not necessarily decided on it naman, but if there's already a path that you want to take after LA. So like maybe you want to pursue design or a different setting, like maybe go into construction, or it doesn't have to be like that also. Like if you see yourself applying the skills outside of LA, that's fine. So like I just want to know where you're at right now, like where you see yourself in the next 3 years when you after you graduate LA. Yan, diba? What are your future plans?
Meron nga ba? Joke na.
Medyo,
yun lang. Okay lang yan. You'll get there. Si Lay may sasabihin eh.
Ayun, I don't wanna jinx it kasi parang I can never really tell what's gonna happen next after I graduate in LA. Pero, I guess I see myself siguro on the material psychology side since I mentioned nga about dun sa material science. Kasi, a bit of context lang. In high school kasi, sa science high school, medyo madugo yung research. Yeah. And I also took up researches na related na ganun sa material science nga, tsaka sa sustainable construction, mga ganun. And yeah, it's one of my interests nga, and it's kind of mabigat, it's kind of niche if you think about it. Pero I'm also leaning into cultural heritage conservation and urban design actually. Kasi wala lang, I got inspired kasi by a lot of anecdotes from the people na kasama ko sa bahay, mga lolo ko at lola ko, ganun. And
Mr.
then,
Alcazarin.
yeah, inspired din doon, if I'm being honest. Yeah, so, I guess, yun lang. I don't know if there's gonna be a future for me in 3 years, but I suppose wherever it is that I end up in, I know that I'll just try my best to like strive and grow and to make my head up high and keep my feet on the ground. Yeah. And ayun.
Grabe naman yung I don't know if there's a future for me.
PH.
Nagulat
with the
ako.
climate crisis involved,
Guys,
can never be too sure.
thanks COVID. Charan. No. But diba? I mean, yun. But so you see yourself doing further studies if ever talaga?
Kung kaya pa po ng energy ko. But
No, kasi
yeah.
diba? Definitely, like I'm sure, like if you go into material science in that field, through that track, or like say urban planning, definitely, diba? You'll have to get into further studies. Oh my gosh,
Right,
ang sipag mo talaga. Sana
Need
all.
citation. Sana all indeed. I procrastinate a lot. Ayun.
I
Hindi ako
highly doubt
masipag in
that.
real
Well,
life.
I highly doubt it. Parang, I know what procrastinators look like. Charot.
What?
But anyway, so
I
you,
see one
how
when I
about,
look at the mirror.
yeah, same, every day. How about you, Raya? What are your future plans?
Future plans, ano po, mag-host ng PALAKwento 2025.
Ay,
Charot!
sinasabi ko sa'yo. Baka pwede mo naman agahan, 2022.
Ano ba? I guess, for me, I have particular parang research interest. So I think a part of me wants to get into research or also maybe the academe. So maybe in that line. So, yung nga, parang I came from English studies and we used to do lots of papers and stuff like that. A particular interest of mine was gender studies. And parang sila yung naalala niya ata to, yung LA19 report namin doon, I really tried to find a way to merge those two concepts together nga, yung LA and then gender studies, ganyan-ganyan. And then we also had our research class, yung ARC 175 ba yun? Tapos parang isa yun sa mga research topics na in-explore ko rin, ganyan. So, mostly research, I think. I think, yun nga, starting from zero knowledge sa course, tapos throughout the course na parang feeling ko wala pa rin akong alam, and then that hunger for growth, I feel like nagka-carry over siya, na baka even after I graduate, ganun pa rin. So, maybe further studies. Mag-aral na lang tayo forever.
Oo, kapagod magtrabaho. Oh my gosh. Ang hirap. Ayoko na nga eh. Pwede ba mag-aral na lang? No, that's nice, no? We have a research department naman in UP. Malay mo, makita ka namin doon in the future, diba? Yun. But it's nice to know din na, kasi like I see na pero meron na talaga kayong set interests. So like, for example, you and gender studies, and then Lay and her construction materials and stuff like that. That will actually really help you guys when you get to thesis, kasi it will narrow down, your choices or your ideas for your topics. So I think it's great na you have these in mind. Kasi like me, when I was, grabe talaga guys. So, I'm so impressed. Kasi parang ako third year, wala pa rin akong alam. No, hindi. Parang ano kasi, like me, mahilig din kasi ako actually, super into research and writing. So, I was super into that, but wala akong set of specific field that I wanted to do research on. So, it was just me going about, parang, okay, what do I do this time? What do I write about this time? Ganun lang. But, it's good to know na meron na kayong set interests kasi that will really help you guys. Yon. Anyway, so si Raia, papalitan niya na ako sa sa PALAKwento. So, baka last na to, hindi natin alam. Baka i-kick out na lang nila ako dito. Anyway, let's see nga the comments. Are there any, questions? Puro naman bati to. Ano to, radio show? Charat. Sending regards from UP class. Oh my gosh, you guys, you know what I miss most about UP class? Si Pung Pung. Kamusta na siya? Kamusta na siya? Hindi ko na siya nakikita.
Tropa pa rin.
Ito-chat ko nga yun sa Twitter. Ito sa Twitter.
Actually, yung Twitter ni Pangkong, nasuspend siya. Nagulat ako. Kasi,
oh my gosh.
Nung tina-turn over na yung mga social media account sa akin, parang, may napansin ako, parang something's missing. Tapos nagulat ako, yung makalat na Twitter ni Pangkong, biglang nawala from, tapos it got suspended, in the most chaotic way possible.
Hindi na nabalik. Yun kasi talaga yun talaga yung branding ni Pangkong. Pretentious lang siya sa Instagram tsaka sa Facebook. Sa Twitter siya naglalabas ng true colors niya.
Branding.
Oo, branding niya talaga yun. Kasi upla si Pangkong, di ba? So,
yes.
It would only be right. Yeah. Yes. Dapat na-manifest niya. So, alam na tuloy ng mga viewers natin ngayon. na nasususpend yung mga accounts ng mga class
For being too makalat, I believe.
Oh no, but that's so sad. Anyway, miss ko na si Pongpong. Yun lang naman yung gusto kong sabihin dito. Ay, there's so many things about college. Na hindi ko alam kung you guys can relate to kasi nga most of it was, like, yung mga physical face-to-face stuff. Like, namimiss ko yung siomai ni Ate Vicky, yung mga ganong bagay. Diba? And parang, I really hope that everything, would subside and we could go back to at least half normal so that you guys you still have time to experience all these things, diba? Like, ngayon, what is it? It's November now. Meron pa kayong mga 3 months before UP Fair. Baka may pag-asa pa. I don't know. Pero, mukhang hindi. So, wag na lang kayo umasa. Anyway, di ba? Anyway, so, pero I'm really glad to have met you guys tonight, no? I had a really great time chatting with you guys. Parang feeling ko, oh my gosh, ganito ba yung feeling maging ate? Charot. No, kasi when I was in college, marami kaming opportunities to meet up with our alums, di ba? So, like, pag mga class events, we got to meet up with them regularly. But, when I graduated, what I expected was that would happen for me too, na parang ako naman yung babalik sa UP or, babalik to, like, meet the, and then, this whole thing happened. So, it never really happened for us. So, I'm really glad to have met you guys. And obviously, I'm looking forward to, meeting the others as well. So I'm really thankful that you guys decided to come and join us for this show. Thank you. Papalakpakan ko kayo ng very quick. Yan. And so before we wrap everything up, I just wanna hear then from you guys, like, anything that you wanna say at all. Gusto niyo bumate? Wow. Gusto niyo bumate sa mga kabarangay nyo? Ganyan. Go. Like, this is your time. Or maybe there's anything you wanna plug? That's fine as well. Wow. Plug niyo yung mga events sa UP class. Charot.
Tama.
Diba? Lay, si Lay pala, guys. Sorry, I forgot to introduce her properly. Stupid me. Si Lay is currently the Popcom head for UP class. Yan. So, yay! Lay, if there's anything that you wanna, advertise right now, it's your chance. Kasi baka patayin tayo dito. Charot. Patayin lang tayo bigla ng camera.
Events lined up for UP class. One being yung dalawang blast na for this November. Ayun. I think it's on the 13th. Tama ba? Tama. It's on the 13th yung next na blast. And then there's also socialite for next month. So, like, if you guys want to sponsor, okay lang din naman. We're actually looking for sponsors and supporters na rin for the event. Yeah. That's it for the upcoming events. Yeah.
Yes. Ayan, pa-shoutout po mga anak. Artista! Solid dito ah. Anyway, sponsor. Walang ganyan. Wala kami mga pera dito.
Sabi na wala ng viewers no? Nung narinig yung
Umalis
sponsor.
sila agad. Ay, sponsor daw. Paano ba to i-close? Ganun. Hindi, pero you guys, I'm sure naman you guys are doing your marketing efforts. So you're probably sending out, these emails naman, di ba? Yeah, so, ano pa ba? Socialite na ba yung last event for the year?
I
kasi
believe so. Yeah.
Wala na nga
Kasi
palang
tree lighting,
mga
siya,
Christmas
face-to-face.
Oo nga, wala na nga
Christmas.
palang mga Christmas stuff. Oh my
Mhm.
gosh. Sad talaga ako for you guys. Charot. Baka, meron tayo dito sa backstage maingay. Baka gusto nyo raw magpa-alumni homecoming. Kasi, hindi na kasi na-invite sa mga events yan eh. Kaya, invite nyo daw siya. Baka naman pa-alumni homecoming kayo. Tapos hindi siya invited.
Noted.
Shoutout sa
Noted.
internals.
Oo, internals. Baka naman. Dali na, magaling. Ay, sinasabi ko sa inyo guys, pag yung mga sponsorship sa mga events, mahirap maghatak ng alumni. Pero sponsorship ng mga ganyan, yung mga happy-happy, ay, sinasabi ko, dadating lahat yan. May bit-bit lahat yan. Charot. Diba? Yan, na-correct pa tayo. Externals nga pala pag
Oo nga
kapag
pala.
alumni. Sorry na daw, tagal ko na di nag-aaral. Ito naman ko. Hindi, pero, diba, guys, it would be really great if we could all gather. Like, siguro, I don't know if it's even possible now, to do it face-to-face. But, like, I think online is fine. That's something that we could definitely arrange, diba? Anyway, wait. Let me see. Meron pa, may nagpapa-shoutout na ulit. Shoutout. Shoutout. Ayan.
Oh my gosh. That's my best friend right there.
Oh, hello. Ayan. Say hi to your best friend.
Hi, Sibal and TK.
Ayan. Ginawa talaga. Guys, grabe na. Wala kayong questions. Puro kayo pa shout out. Anyway, sige na nga. So, anything else? Last, remarks that you guys want to do before we wrap up and I say goodbye? Wala na.
Hot stuff.
Yeah.
Siguro, I just like to yung reiterate. Medyo inabes mo rin siya na-mention ate, Sai. Wow.
Oh my God! Ate!
Ate! So,
Plastic lang ako.
Throughout this talk, parang as we tried our best to talk about LA, pero you also wanted to ask more, like our lives beyond LA as students, as people, ganyan. So I think medyo maganda lang din siyang i-broadcast lang din to everyone because I think a lot of our viewers are also maybe LA students or mga LA professionals nga na yun, our lives aren't just within the scope of LA, or actually may scope nga bang LA, diba? It's so vast, it's so multidisciplinary na we shouldn't limit ourselves to that, and then we shouldn't I guess parang we should live life, diba? Parang how can we design for the living if we don't live life ourselves?
Exactly.
Justifying my pagiging BS org.
Right.
No, but that's real. I mean, how else are you supposed to know how to design certain spaces, diba? Unless you've been there yourself. So that makes a lot of sense. Thank you, Raia. How about you, Lay? Any closing remarks?
Ayun, to add lang with what Raia said, I always put this sa mga reflection paper about sa LA na parang you are first human before you become a designer. So parang at least if you get to experience muna what it means to become a human, parang aside from the aesthetics and forms that I've been discussing about earlier, parang it adds another dimension to the space that you're designing. And then if inuna mo yung pagpapakatao mo, parang 'di ba, you empathize with the users, and that actually guides us na rin in designing better spaces, in making sure that their narratives are being amplified through the spaces that we design. Ayun. And I guess a bit on the practical side, always practice self-care. Yeah, this goes out to hindi lang sa mga students in LA, but sa mga college students in general. Kasi it's impossible to stay creative all the time when all of your energy is devoted to just surviving. So I guess one thing that I need to air out is rest is productive, and your worth is not anchored to the amount of stuff that you get done. Yeah,
that's correct. That's very real.
Right. And sometimes it also means writing that scary email, letting go of things that no longer serve you good, basically doing the difficult and necessary things. But kasi
Yes.
at the end of the day, self-care having means having to invest in yourself, and this means doing the things that allow you to learn and grow. Yeah, so
Yes.
that's
Oh
it
my
for
God.
me.
Thank you so much,
Tama.
Leia and Raya. I
Mhm.
mean, I agree with everything, no? Especially now that you mention it, yun nga, yung self-care. It's very important, especially in the predicament that we're in right now.
Mm.
No, I mean, yun nga, I mentioned again and again na kanina na parang it was so, I realized now how easier it was for me when I had my struggles back then because I had my friends there, like, with me, like, face to face, diba? And I had access to all these different outlets that I could, like if I needed to go to the gym or try this new activity to vent out my stress, I could do that. But especially now where we're all restricted in the confines of our home as much as possible, um it's very difficult to to have an outlet. So it's very important. Yes, rest is very much productive because how else are you gonna do more productive things if you're just burnt out, diba? So
Tama.
rest is very important. And yun nga, for me, you create like LA, it's a creative course, yes. But you don't have to pour all your creativity just into that, right? Like we
Mm-mm.
also need other creative outlets that we can use na for rest. Like maybe you're into music and I think that's really great, diba? You could venture into that you have a creative outlet that's not necessarily related to what you do for school. Yung
Right.
mga ganong bagay. And I think that's really great. I mean, as to everyone watching no na students, not even students, even for sure like yung mga
Professionals.
nagwo-work na rin. Yeah, it's very important to just take a pause and like take time for yourself. And yon. Ngayon ko lang na-realize to. Thank you guys. Ngayon ko lang na-realize ulit kasi ang insightful ng mga batang ito. So, again, we're running out of time, no? But Leigh and Raya, thank you so much. I'm super, super happy to have met you guys here tonight. Thank you for joining us for tonight's episode of PALAKwento. No, and good luck to up class. Again, guys, sa viewers natin dyan, especially to all our alums, diba? Support natin ang up class with their events and whatever, ano man yan, kahit sa mga simpleng pag-share lang or pag-donate, charot. Yan,
Right.
so, yeah, so let's all support. Okay, so like one last time, thank you again, Raya and Leigh, and I'll see you guys. Bye-bye! Say
Bye.
bye!
Thanks so much for
Ayan. Okay, so thank you so much again, especially to everyone who joined us tonight, sa mga up-class dyan, alums, profs, everybody, families and friends. Thank you for joining us and we'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye!